Welcome to the Sportz Phenz Show. The show where, just like you, we can't get enough sports.
The 47-year wait is over! And the Nuggets win it! Wilson throwing, it's up for grabs, and it's caught for the touchdown! And the Denver Broncos have taken Super Bowl 50. And the Avalanche are 2022 Stanley Cup champions! And a shot into the back of the net for Diego Rubio!
Now here's your hosts, Arthur Knight.
1-0 Rapids. They are champions.
What's good in the hood? Welcome, Sportz Phenz, to the Sportz Phenz Show. I am Arthur Knight, and with me is Mr. Ill Limit himself, Michael Wharton. We are coming to you live from 4300 West Alameda here in Denver, Colorado, from Sohai Cafe. Come on by, get you some Viper Pit barbecue, or grab you some tacos from the taqueria, or like I just had a breakfast burrito that Mike was kind of having some, what do they call that? FOMO fuyab? Or what is it? FOMO?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? He was
a little jelly.
He was a bit jelly on, But, hey, you could come on by, and after the show, Mike can go on and cop him a burrito or some tacos. I think the last time you were here, you copped some ribs.
Yep.
How were those for you?
They were fantastic.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So come on by, 4300 West Alameda for Monday Night Football. Tell Vinny the Sportz Phenz sent you. Call ahead. Get your order in now, 303-807-0151. That's 303-807-0151. Don't forget to follow them on all social media at Sohai Cafe, Taqueria, and Barbecue. We are also being brought to you live from IMV Vision. IMV Vision is devoted to offering affordable and fashionable eyewear. IMV Vision is your eye care advocates. Their goal is to provide all with the education and awareness needed to make an informed decision about your vision and health. They are located off of Alameda and Buckley in Aurora, Colorado, but you can call in today, 720-762-4290, or book online at invvision.com. They take most medical insurance and Medicaid, so call or book today at 720-762-4290 or invvision.com. That's 720-762-4290 or invvision.com. INVVision, we see you. All right, Sportz Phenz, we also see you. I guess we could see you, and I'm kind of throwing a monkey wrench in here because I forgot to add this to the rundown. But you looked pretty damn good last night. I want to, I'll add that to the end of the show. We'll get into that because I know I'm throwing a monkey wrench and kind of a.
Why are you throwing me a curveball here?
Because I know you make it do what it do regardless of what's going on, man. This guy thrives under fire and pressure.
Maybe. Sometimes.
He's like, define thrive. Yeah. No.
If by thrive you mean panic. No, I'm just kidding.
So, speaking of panic, do we panic as Broncos fans, man, or should we relax a little bit, or I guess the better question would be, Mike, as a fan. We've been fans of this team for a very long time. This show is based on the fan perspective. Like, we're not even trying to play like we're ESPN analysts. Like, we're fans, okay? So, from a fan's perspective, what do we need to see in your eyes, Mike? Direct question. What do we need to see as Bronco fans to you that would say that the train is back on the track, so to speak, or that the ship has been righted by the coaching staff and the team? What do you need to see?
Well, I mean, the last 2 weeks have been a little rough.
Rough seas.
Yeah, first of all, I don't think we knew that Daniel Jones was going to be the next Josh Allen. You know what I mean? And then just by pure coincidence or whatever, the stars aligned and our supposed elite defense had a pretty rough game that day. I'm hoping that was just a one-off. You know what I mean? I think that there's some holes in the defense. Dre Greenlaw, he's severely needed. because they're kind of getting tore up in the mid-range game there a little bit.
They need a general in the center of that field in the linebacker core.
And then last week, I think it wasn't a bad game, and especially against the Chargers are red hot right now, even though they're kind of getting smoked by the Giants currently. But
that's crazy. We got to dig into that in a little bit later. But
I think that it was not a bad game. The defense was better. Other than there was way too many penalties. Hufunga had a few. I think Riley Moss had like a key penalty that really set it back. But really, it came down to, and the game plan wasn't bad. I think especially in the third quarter when they started really running it, there was like some tangible some opportunities there that were opening up because they were effectively running the football. Dobbins was kind of doing his thing. 11
rushes for 83 yards on 7.5 average and a TD.
And then that opened up some huge opportunities with some great plays that Sean Payton obviously dialed in. For some deep balls that wasn't executed by Bo Nix mainly. I mean,
that's been the criticism all week.
It's the fact that if he'd have even got one or two of those, they win that game. You know what I mean? If he'd have just not put so much stank on the ball, calm down a little bit. Kind of
get your feet settled,
get your feet where they need to be.
Two of those were all footwork.
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody says. It's all footwork. One of them, he ran up into the lineman's backside for no reason.
Yeah.
Like he had plenty of space to set his feet and throw.
But I think last week was an improvement. I see like some promise in that they did so well. And especially because those deep balls, if they were a little bit more on target, man, that's something that the Chargers don't allow, and that proves that when they started running the ball and that opened up the opportunity for
we've been saying on this show for 3 weeks.
We're almost beating a dead horse on that one, but it's like it was like they were close. They were so close, and I think hopefully this week, tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, obviously Cincinnati is completely. If you go off of last week, looks like they've completely fallen apart without Joe Burrow. Hopefully it's a good confidence builder, and they can, probably put some points on the board up against these guys, get Bo Nix a little bit more, confident in his game. And
so what do you see? What do you need to see, though? Like, what would tell you if, as Mr. Wharton, like I'm sitting on my couch, I'm watching the game, and I see this consistency in whatever in X in this game that says, okay, we're good.
Just to build off of what they were doing offensively last week for sure. Keep trying to push that run game. Dobbins seems like he's the real deal. And when given the opportunity, he was covering some ground out there, and I think that's something that I need to see first and foremost, and then maybe part B of that would be Dre Greenlaw on the field playing. And
I think he's eligible this week. I haven't had a chance to check the.
He was eligible last week, and then he didn't. I don't even think he practiced
because he was on IR. Game. He was on 4-week IR. He was on that short-term IR, and we're in week 4, right? If I'm, I
don't know. I don't think he was on IR until after this last weekend, and they put him on IR, this short-term IR this week.
Huh. Okay. So
I may be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure when I saw that I think that was like Monday. I saw that I was like,
all right,
they should have done that.
Let me double check that because if they were smart, if they were going to keep him out this many games, they should have put him on the 4-week IR on game 1. In my humble opinion, but for me to answer that question, for me, I'm going to piggyback a little bit off of what Mike said there. The run game. The run game was essential to the Broncos basically taking control of that game against the Chargers. They went away from it as they have the past 2 weeks. They did it against the Colts as well. They actually did have a chance to just beat that team, and they went away from the run. They, instead of running the ball, controlling the clock, Coach decided to go with pizzazz, and he wants to show off his shiny new toy in Bo Nix and show, hey, this is why I said he should be, the 4th best, or he's going to be the best, one of the best quarterback or an elite quarterback, however he said it, in this league. he's out there, to me, visibly, it looks like as a fan, he's trying to prove his, prediction in a sense. But even with that said, I agree with everything you said, last 2 weeks. Like, it's unarguable. Like, that's exactly what happened. And it seems like this team kind of falls apart in those big moments, as opposed to last year when they seemed to thrive in those moments. They seem to fold a little bit in those moments this year. What I need to personally see is, and you said it adequately, Mike, it's probably beating a dead horse. It is, but 11 carries and he got 83 yards. That just means he was efficient. But if you give J.K. Dobbins 4 more carries last week, you win this game. That takes away the possession that the Chargers needed to win the game.
Yeah.
That takes it away. I honestly, I just want to see well, there's two things. So there's feed J.K. Dobbins, let that man cook, give him 4 more carries this game. 15, 16 carries is not too big of a load for him to carry. Number 2, spread the ball around. It seems like every week there's a favorite wide receiver that Bo Nix is throwing to, and I don't know if that's scheme or if that's Bo Nix, but something within that realm needs to be fixed, because it seems like the first week it was Sutton, the second week it was Franklin, right?
Yeah.
Week 3 it's Sutton again on 6 receptions for 118 yards and had a crazy game and 1 TD. Should have been 2.
I think it's definitely probably a Bo Nix thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's good.
Because as much as Peyton likes to kind of switch around personnel so much, you know what I mean? He's got stuff schemed up to utilize different guys. At least that's what I would assume. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. And then we've heard where they've talked to other teams and they've been asked how do you plan on dealing with Bo Nix, and more often than not, the first thing they say is to take away his first read, because then he panics. You know what I mean? Or he's going to get mobile.
He'll get happy feet. Yeah, he'll start to move around. He'll start to. He'll overthink. It's not bad that he thinks. See, I like the fact that Bo Nix is an analytical quarterback. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that when you get to the point where you overthink, you start playing with ghosts, you get happy feet, like he did when on a couple of those overthrows, right?
Yeah. And man, I tell you what. Remember we were talking to KJ, and he was saying, that don't get too disappointed at the beginning of the season. It's probably going to be a slow start for Bo Nix, but not to fret, because Peyton's going to not give him too much. You know what I mean? I think Peyton's giving him too much. Simplify this thing for the kid until he gets it. There's probably some underlying nerves with all the hype and the pressure and the talk of a sophomore slump, his second season. He showed so much improvement last season, and fans and maybe even analysts expect his trajectory to be linear, but it's a bumpy road. It is for a young starting quarterback, and you can't expect it to just be consistently, skyrocketing. He's gonna hit road bumps, and all the things they talk about. There's footage, there's tape on him now, so people know how to handle it better. And
I've said that for years. How many times have you heard me say, once you're in the league after the first year, everybody has tape on you now? That's your true you have these guys that come out in their first year and they set the league on fire, and it's like, oh, they have this trajectory of being a superstar, and they get handed their flowers a little too early. And it's like, no, it's year 2. It's year 2 is kind of who you are, man, because everybody's going to have film on you from year 1. They're going to take away everything that you did well that first year. And then now, like you said, with Bo Nix, it's okay. Now let's take away his first option. What is he going to do?
Yeah.
How is he going to apply? How can we take away his first option and apply pressure to get him to move within the pocket and not keep his feet planted and set and ready to make an on-time throw? that's how they've been able to do it. But I like the fact that if he's having a sophomore slump, I'm glad that it's right now. Like, I want them to win. I want them to win every game, but, it's like I'd rather it be now that they're trying to iron out all the kinks and whatnot. And this is the perfect week. This is the perfect week to get the ship corrected and back on course.
Build some steam. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It was interesting. I think that right now the Broncos offensive line is top 3 in the league as far as quarterback pressures. So the fact that the O-line has been able to kind of give Bo Nix some time and some protection, it makes it more unacceptable that Bo Nix seems to be panicking or whatever's happening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, I mean, the offensive line has been stellar when it comes to pass blocking. They just haven't been able to open up any kind of run lanes. And that's why having J.K. Dobbins has been a breath of fresh air as opposed to last year's running backs. There hasn't been cracks and crevices for him to just burst through, yet he's still, getting 70 to 80, 90-yard games. They need him to get to that 90 to 105 a game.
100-plus yards a game.
They
it would be ideal.
Yeah.
But also you got to be careful because, as two of our other bargain bin vets that we got, Ingram and Greenlaw, who were bargain bin because they were injury prone.
Right.
They're fantastic players and they make stuff happen on the field when they're healthy. You can almost kind of loop Dobbins into that category as well because he's also been injury prone. And I don't know if what they need to do to get Harvey going, but maybe splitting the runs a little more, but before we end up running J.K. Dobbins into the ground.
I mean, Harvey had 2 carries and he seems to still be on that mentality. He doesn't want to run inside the tackles or run in the A gap at all. Because every time they hand him the ball, he seems to try to bounce it to the outside, which is what rookies do as a running back. I mean, if you ever watch football ever in your life, you start to notice that that's what rookie running backs do. Is they think they do it as freshmen in college. They think they can outrun these guys because that's what's been able to get them to where they are in previous leagues. Well, everybody's that fast now, or faster. So you are going to have to learn how to find those creases. And I do think he will eventually. I mean, we can see it. We see glimpses of it. He's going to be really, really good, man. But the Broncos' schedule is not going to get much better going down the line, but they do have some glimmer of hope coming up, like Cincinnati. If they can right the ship on, especially the run game, like get the run game. This is the game right here that you should be able to rely on your defense because the offense is going to be terrible on the other side, even though the Titans, and all of these other teams should have been quote unquote terrible as well. I still think this offense seems to be in turmoil. Like you said, they're spiraling out of control. So this is the game that they're going to have to set the right tone and get the ship going in the right direction because next week, man, Philly, Philly.
They're walking straight into a buzzsaw, and we might as well chalk that one up as a L, but you never know.
You never know.
Sometimes, Broncos might just Bronco, and they might lose tomorrow. They might lose tomorrow night and then win in Philly.
That is true. I mean, that's why they play the games, but they could also win tomorrow night and go into Philly with confidence and beat Philly. And then it gets a little softer, right? You get the Jets and Giants back to back. One on the East Coast, and then they got to fly back here and play the Giants. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing Russell Wilson as the starting quarterback for the Giants in that week.
Did you see that game?
I did not get a chance to see it, but I've heard everything I needed to hear.
Yeah, I caught the fourth quarter, and on that last series, and Russ threw the ball one of them went in the tunnel. They were in the red zone, and one of them went in the tunnel, and one of them like split the uprights. It looked like he was purposely trying to bench himself. Like he don't want to play no more.
It's crazy.
Like he gave up mid-game.
Well, I mean, but the Broncos do have to play 3 out of 4 from the the NFC East. All within the next few weeks, man. Like I said, next week Philly, and then they have a reprieve playing the Jets, but then the Giants, and then they play the Cowboys, which we will be at that game. Mark and I will be at that game. So, we'll try to take some video content, give some love to our guy, Gustavo. That's going to be like our memorial game with him. Shout out to Eddie hooking up the tickets. But can't wait to get to that game. But the Broncos are going to be playing. That's 3 games in a row that are should be wins and now are must wins if you want to salvage this season and make it to the playoffs. Because you lose you could lose. Okay, win Cincinnati. Got to win that game. Yep. It was probably a loss when or a 50-50 game when they had their quarterback. Now it's you got to win this game. Philly, I'm not giving them a 50-50. I'm not expecting the Broncos to go into Philadelphia and win that game. I'm just not. Philadelphia is really, really good. Just not expecting the Broncos to win that game. If they win that game, icing on the cake. Not expecting it, though. And then to play the Jets.
The Jets, Giants, Cowboys, and Texans run is pretty nice. It's like right there, like served on a platter.
It's right there.
They could get three of those easily, maybe all 4, before they end up playing the Raiders at home on November 6th. I don't know. What do you think of the Raiders?
The Raiders is going to be a 50-50 game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 50-50 game. I mean, everything we thought of preseason, I even think your generous and mildly toned pick for their ending record is still it's questionable now because it's just like we don't know what this offense is going to do. That's why my first question off the top of the show is what do we got to see in this game? Because this would be the game to show us that they've righted the ship. Not just is it Bo Nix connecting on those long bombs? Is it consistent running? Like it's all of those things, right? But when it comes to getting to the Raiders, that's when the Broncos are going to make their run on most of their in-division games. Like they've already lost their one. They only played against the Chargers, and they should have won that game. It would have set them up so perfectly going into the run we're about to talk about from that week of the Las Vegas Raiders, right?
Yeah.
So had they won that game, they're what? 2-1 right now, right?
Yeah.
You go into Cincinnati. Cincinnati's wounded. You win that one. You're 3-1. You go into Philadelphia. You lose that one. You're 3-2. Now you rattle off 4 wins, right? Now you're 7-2 going into the meat and potatoes of your season, starting with the Las Vegas Raiders.
I think they could honestly pretty realistically go 6-2 over the next 8.
I agree with that. I agree with that. They're going to have to win all 4 of these, this game tomorrow night, Monday night, plus the 4 games, the aforementioned games. They're going to have to win all of those in order to make that happen, though.
Yeah.
And then go have the Raiders come into here after beating Houston. In Houston, they're going to have the Raiders come into here on a Thursday night game, and we will probably have a watch party on that week. I'm trying to think of when that game. That's hopefully I will be in town for that game because I will be. We'll talk about it at the end of the show, but I got a lot of traveling coming up, so you'll have Ryan Lagan and you'll have Mr. Wharton here. And Mark Perez will be filling in periodically when he can. He's always going to be watching the show, and he's always going to be in the chat. I could see he's live in the chat right now. I haven't had a chance to catch up, reading a lot because he's texting a lot, and I'm feeling it. I do see Eddie in there too. But back to the point. So again, like Mike said, so when we get to that, they're what did you say? Like 6-2.
6-2 in the next 8.
6-2.
Yep. They'll lose to Philly, and they'll probably maybe either the Raiders. I don't know. I feel like they're because the game after the Raiders game is the Chiefs, and it's in Denver, I think. And I don't know why. I just got the strong feeling that the Broncos are going to sweep the Chiefs this year.
See, I feel like if okay, hot take right there.
Little hot.
But that's actually a take that I still think it's going to be 1-1. But if this is the year, it would be this year. Like, it seems like there's a chink in the armor, even though
there's something going on there.
They did win last week.
Yeah, but they're still clearly not what they once were.
No, they're not 0-3, but
it wasn't sustainable to kind of ride on the backs of Mahomes and Kelsey, especially as Kelsey is fallen off. It seems. I don't know if he's distracted or he's just getting old or what, but it's not
a little bit of A, a little bit of B, brother. That's probably both.
And then I don't know, like they've done it before, but just seeing him and Andy Reid getting into it on the sidelines so much, it just seems like there might be a little.
The emperor has no clothes.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. But I don't think I think the Broncos run the table. And that's going to be the surprising factor for everybody in the league is that the Broncos will win Monday night, lose to the Eagles, and then they're going to win against the Jets, win against the Giants, win against the Cowboys, win against the Texans, win against the Raiders, and beat the Chiefs. And then they're going to go into a bye week and come out of the bye week playing the Washington Commanders. Now, I think the Washington Commanders are actually beatable now, even though they're still pretty friggin' good. That doesn't look like an automatic L anymore. It looks like a 50-50 game to me. And then they got to play the Raiders again, but this time in Las Vegas, which is going to be much tougher to do. After beating them in Denver, the Raiders are going to have that day scheduled or circled on their calendar. The Broncos always have a hard time beating the Raiders in their home stadium, even though I think they did do that last year. I think they swapped wins. The Raiders beat the Broncos here and vice versa.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens this year. I think by the time the Broncos get to that Raiders game, that's where I disagree and vary from you, is that they'll lose to the Raiders. I think after those 4 games, Monday night, they hone in and they get the ship right. They know what they're supposed to do. They create their identity on offense. The defense settles in, gets their mind right. Maybe Greenlaw shows up. He actually plays. Even if it's in a limited capacity, maybe he plays. And then they go into Philadelphia, make it a good game, but still don't pull it out. And then they go on a run. Nice 4, 5, 6 game run going into that bye week. Man, that would be good because coming out of that bye week is going to be tough. That's the bulk of their they got to play the Raiders again. They got to play KC again, and then they got to play the Chargers of their last game of the season.
Yeah.
That's how important that Chargers game was.
We're not in bad company, I don't think, as far as teams, because you don't feel good about it, and you want to maybe even try to panic a little bit at 3 weeks into the season and you're 1-2. But
right,
if I let me run through these teams in the AFC that are 1-2, and you let me know if you think that they're a bad team that's 1-2, or if they're a legit
or
team.
if it's a rough start,
or for a legit team. So we got the Patriots.
Bad team.
Yeah. Raiders.
Rough start.
Broncos.
Rough start.
Chiefs.
Ooh.
Chiefs legit? Are they legit? You don't even want to give them a half of a little mini
I don't
compliment.
I don't want to give them nothing, and I hate the Raiders more than them, and I just gave the Raiders a compliment.
I'll answer for you. I think they're legit. I think they're legit with a rough start.
It's a rough start.
Then what do we got? Ravens.
Rough start.
Yeah, I mean, that's a legit team right there. Browns.
Boo.
So there's some legit.
I'm going to say that no, they're not legit.
There's some legit decent teams, though, in the AFC. Let's see, what do we got in the NFC? Cowboys. Boo-boo.
Boo.
Bears.
Ooh, boo.
I don't know. I don't know about that. It's hard to say. I don't know if Caleb Williams gets his stuff together and puts on a performance like he did last week, they might have something going. But I'll say
show me some consistency.
For now, I'll say that they're not great.
No.
Panthers.
Yeah.
Falcons. Michael Penix.
No, not a good team.
Big Penix energy.
Not a good team. Not a good team. Up and coming team.
Yeah.
Up and coming. But not a good team
I think
yet.
There's maybe some potential with Michael Penix, but
not a good team yet.
He doesn't have nothing around him.
They're still
not
a good
much.
2 weapons away on offense, and they need a whole revamp of their defense.
But even just even the Ravens being 1-2 right now in the same ballpark as the Broncos and Chiefs, it should make people like ease their minds a little bit.
Bring it back.
1-2 isn't the end of the world. It's not the end all be all.
We'll know. Is that all the 1-2 teams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean there are a few sprinkled in there. Obviously, I think most of those teams that are 1-2, and then you could also go down the list of the ones that are undefeated, like the Colts. Are they a flash in the pan, or are they legit? Like.
I think they're legit, man. They got a pretty decent defense, and then some reason Danny Dollars is.
He fits well within their team. He does.
That just goes to show you they were not utilizing him correctly in New York.
And they needed that type of quarterback in Indianapolis because their offensive weapons weren't being utilized properly.
Yeah.
And it's a match made in heaven. But I'm going to go with I do not think they're completely legit, and this is why. The Colts are in a weak division. They're in a weak division. Not only that, they're playing like a third place schedule. So they're, because the Broncos were third place last year? They weren't fourth place in the division. So that's why they're playing the Broncos. That's why the Broncos are playing at third place as well. But they're 3-0. I mean, let's give them their due. The Broncos are 1-2. They're 3-0. So let's give them those flowers. But I honestly think the Broncos are just on a slow start, and the Indianapolis Colts might be, people don't have film on the Colts as currently constructed. Yes, they have film on Danny Dimes. Yes, they have film on the Indianapolis Colts as a team, as a whole, with the running back and the wide receivers, etc. But they don't have any film on them together except for the last 3 weeks. Right? That's all the film that they have. And until teams get that film released and are able to study that film, the Colts are going to be really, really good. They could go undefeated all the way up until week 6, 7, maybe even 8. And then teams are going to start figuring them out. They're going to start taking things away from Danny Dimes, maybe expose him a little bit. But as of right now, they are really, really good. And I'm not trying to take anything away from them. I just don't think that they're exactly, I think they're more of a flash in the pan than they are legit.
Well, that's interesting. I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I think it's still up in the air. Yeah. But you never know. You know
what's also up in the air, man?
What's that?
People forgiving Hufunga. I mean, I've heard it all week, and I've seen it, They're like, oh, they never should have signed this guy. And it's just like, man, pump your brakes. One play.
No, I mean, sometimes you just got to body slam a dude.
And he was, I mean, we needed that guy on this defense.
Yeah.
Our defense was too nice.
Yeah.
Good defense last year. Great defense. Some would say top 5 defense. But they needed that Bill Romanowski guy.
There's some small holes in this defense for the Broncos, but one of them is not Talanoa Hufunga.
Right. Pump your brakes on him. I say forgive him, Broncos country.
Yeah.
Let that one play go. Yes, did it cost them? I don't know if that one play cost them the game. It did give them the penalty that they needed to tie the game. I'll give them that. I'll give you anybody that argues, or has a discussion about Hufunga that. But to say not to sign him, like we should have kept somebody else or signed somebody else, no. That was probably out of all of the signings that the Denver Broncos had done on the offseason, that's working out.
Yeah.
he just got a little overzealous. I'm calling him like the Tasmanian devil, this guy. This guy's everywhere, man. It's like he's like a tornado spinning around the football field. He's on every play. Stop me when I'm wrong. And if he's in on every play and he's doing what he's doing and he shows a little too much passion, because that's all that was, and I honestly think it was a BS call if we're really calling it out.
It's football, man.
He didn't really like pick him up and slam him on his head. Did he pick him up and slam him? Yes.
But
he didn't slam him on his head. He didn't hold him up like a suplex like in the WWE, spin around, bang on his chest, and then slam him down.
He didn't hit him with a tombstone or nothing.
No. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, yeah, okay, the whistle hadn't quite blown when he picked him up. The whistle kind of blew as he was picking him up.
Yeah.
And when you're in full throw, like what is he supposed to do? Oh, the whistle blew. Let me.
Do you think that Pat Surtain has lost some of his mystique? Because remember a few weeks ago I was saying, the best way that the less we see Surtain on TV, that means the better he's doing. And we were seeing quite a bit of him
past 2 weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. Have they decided they're going to start going at him? Were they not going at him just because on reputation alone, or
no? I think they found his one weakness, and their teams have found the one weakness in the Broncos defense, and that's the crossing routes, because they don't have linebackers that can cover. If they had linebackers that could cover, they could switch into a zone man, and when the wide receivers go on crossing routes or Z routes or any of those routes, the corner doesn't have to go with them. They either are man up if they come into their zone, or they drop back into zone and cover the flat and or the back corner, the pylon corner of the field. The Broncos don't have linebackers that can drop into that coverage and cover those crossing routes, so our cornerbacks are having to. Riley Moss is a victim of this too. They're just not. It's not that they're not capable. And dude, when they're getting these passes, it's not like Riley Moss and PS2 aren't literally draping them.
No,
those passes have had to be perfect.
That's something that's been rubbing me the wrong way too. There's been a lot of criticism for Riley Moss and saying he's soft, but I mean, dude's been targeted 27 times this season.
Right.
That's the second most in the NFL, and he's only allowed 12 receptions.
And one touchdown. I think it's only one touchdown that he's allowed.
That's fewer than any other player with over 20
same
targets.
amount.
Yeah. And he's like you were saying about draping him, 2.6 yards of separation in coverage, which is the second tightest coverage.
There's
in the
no
NFL.
yak. There's no yak when you pass to those two at those two corners.
So I want to stop hearing this slander of my man Riley Moss, because that guy's doing his job, man. Just sometimes balls get through. These are NFL receivers, and that's what their job
Everybody's
is.
getting paid, bruh. Everybody's getting paid. And on top of that, just to piggyback that a little bit, the PS2 has not lost a step, and he has not been exposed. There's just teams know now exactly how to attack this defense, and they're going to get yards. They're going to get big chunk plays on those plays, because any corner, I don't care if it was Champ Bailey still out there, the ghost of Champ Bailey. Not saying he's dead or anything. I'm saying his NFL ghost. Don't take that the wrong way, but NFL heads know what I'm talking about. Anyway. If he was out there, it doesn't matter. Him on the crossing routes. We used to see Mr. Bailey get smoked on crossing routes too. It's the toughest play to guard is those posts and crossing routes when you're playing man defense. Toughest. I can't think of anything tougher, man. So we gotta cut them some slack. That poses another question that I wanted to get to, Mike, that we were discussing, pre-show and whatnot, that I have in the rundown here. VJ, the Denver Broncos defensive coordinator, right? The DC.
Yeah.
He's quoted in saying something to, or I'm paraphrasing, I should say, that he said the defense needs to be better and more smart. Okay. And
that's
my question,
probably referencing penalties. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. Okay, that's fair. But it just seems like he's kind of shouldering the blame a little bit. which good leaders do. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's being a good leader. He's taking all the bullets for his guys. But as fans, are we really going to allow anybody to sit back and say this 2-game slump is the defense?
No. I would say that the defense did have an off night against the Colts.
Everybody thought
clearly.
Yeah, that was who knew that the Colts were going to, come in firing on all cylinders and do what they did? Nobody. I don't even think the Colts knew they were going to do what they did.
But and then there is something to be said, and I think that VJ is, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily equate it to throwing his guys under the bus, but I mean, it was clearly like penalties were an issue with the defense last week.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what he's referencing. And honestly, at the end of the game, when the Chargers were driving down the field,
mm-hmm.
they kind of let them march, and that you're watching, you're hoping for an interception or a fumble.
2 penalties.
Yeah,
they did get an interception that game though.
But on that drive though,
No. Yep, I got you.
When it counted,
right.
When the game was on the line, you're kind of waiting for something big to happen, and then they just kind of like flushed it down the toilet with some penalties and some lackluster play, let them march down the field, and game over. But it's just not 100% on their shoulders. You know what I mean?
Right.
That game last week would have been in the bag if one of those deep balls hit their target.
I think that all three games in the win, all on the offense. Well, I mean, the defense played really well against the Titans, only allowed them to get 133 yards. That win, okay.
Yeah.
Let's take that game out. That's on the D. But the last 2 weeks is the offense not closing. The offense has not closed a game, period. The reason why they beat the Titans is because the defense didn't allow them to do anything in the third and fourth quarter. That the defense won that game for them. It wasn't like the offense came out on fire in the third and fourth quarter, scored 21 unanswered points. Now, granted, last week against the Chargers, they did go, 17. They did score 17 unanswered points.
Yep.
And then the defense held the Chargers up until the last bit when the Broncos offense kept going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
Yeah.
Any defense, I don't care how great your defense is, any defense when your offense can't control the clock, run the ball, wear out their defense, the opposing team's defense, if you can't wear them out, your defense is going to get worn out, and you're going to lose games. You're going to lose close games.
I guess one of the silver linings would be that with all these 3 and outs, at least we know that our rookie punter's good.
He's getting some reps.
Yeah, there were some questions about him.
There were question marks.
In preseason and during training camp, but that he didn't really know what he was doing. But man, it looks like when the bright lights are on, he's got a boot on him.
Yeah, man.
But that's not necessarily something you want to be super pumped about.
No,
but
I don't care about how good the punter is.
That punter's out there killing it, dog.
When your punter's great, that means your team is terrible. I don't want that. I don't want that stigma. I don't want that stench. We're gonna wash that crap right off. I almost cussed. You almost got me to cuss, Mike.
Ooh.
What are you doing? What you doing? For shame.
Where's the curse jar?
Okay, let's go to the text line really quick. What were you gonna say?
Did I read that Mims is questionable?
Yes. Yeah, he's questionable for tomorrow night.
Don't like it.
Don't like it, but I need to see Bo Nix spread the ball around in a game. Not every week there's a different targeted receiver. I need to see, each receiver. If they're gonna have him throw 40 times, he's got 4 receivers. You do the math. That's at least what 5 per plus running backs, right? Give or take.
Yep.
That's what I want to see.
Well, hopefully this might open up an opportunity for Pat Bryant to shine. You know what I mean?
It will. It will.
If Mims is down for Monday Night Football tomorrow, then let's get Pat Bryant out there and see what he can do.
I read a stat the other day, and I'll need to double check it, but I read a stat the other day that Pat Bryant is already 100% on targets. So he's caught every target that Bo Nix has thrown at him. He's caught the ball. He hasn't dropped one. It hasn't been an overthrow, nothing.
So what are we doing? Throw to that man. Come on.
Give the man the rock. Let him cook, man. All right, let's go to the All right, so yes, going back all the way, Mark is talking about the Dallas Cowboys documentary. Mike, have you had a chance to watch that yet?
No, I have not.
Let's put that on your homework list.
Okay.
You're going to like it. The thing is
scandalous.
It opens up my eyes a little bit to the team that I grew up. It takes away a little of their nostalgia. It does. Like,
no, and it was so filthy behind the scenes.
Bruh, if that team were in this era with social media, video cameras everywhere, and there were cameras back then. There were paparazzi. There was cameras. But those cameras couldn't be like hidden inside the house, and
Instagram would have been the death of them.
Yeah, you can't live feed something at that point from your cell phone because we didn't have cell phones at that time, or we did, but they were the size of a brick, and they weren't very hideable, and definitely didn't have cameras in it.
Just live streaming from the stripper house.
My guy. I watched that, and it was just like, oh, my God. Even Emmitt Smith, who I thought was my guy. That was my guy. Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders were my guys. I wanted to be a running back.
Are you trying to tell me Emmitt Smith wasn't squeaky clean?
Not squeaky clean, bro. You need to watch it.
Oh, man.
You need to watch it.
Interesting.
They talk about this house called the White House.
How many episodes is it?
It's 8, I think. 8 total. But it gets juicy in 3 and 4 because that's when they start talking about the White House. And the reason why I say something about my boy Emmett is because when it's either episode 3 or episode 4, they're coming in and they're talking about the White House, right? And Emmett was like, he says something, I'm paraphrasing here. He says something about pleading the fifth. I don't want to talk about the White House because it might incriminate me or something to that effect. And I was like, not Emmett. But at that point, they didn't tell you what the White House was about.
Yeah.
They just didn't.
They just foreshadowing.
Casually, yes, exactly. They just casually mentioned it because in about 5, 6, or 7 into the episodes, they explain how the White House, what it does. Like Michael Irvin, he paid for it.
Yep.
He paid for the house. There were other players that used the house, but Michael Irvin was the one that it was in his name. We all remember when Michael Irvin went down for what he went down for and all of that. So they get in depth into the White House. Now, they don't go into what Emmitt Smith does. They don't go into what any other player does but Michael Irvin. So I want to preface this by saying that.
I mean, there's a statute of limitations on a lot of things. So if Emmett still doesn't want to talk about it all these years later, man, it's like
there's some stuff went down.
Are there bodies or
there are bodies, dog. There are skeletons in closets.
There's definitely literal skeletons
that nobody wants to talk about.
Oh,
man. I tell you, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was the equivalent to "I plead the fifth." That's what Emmett said. He said, I don't want to talk about that. And then Michael Irvin was more than willing to talk about it. He was like, oh, the White House, yeah. He was all reminiscent, and it was all nostalgic with him.
Michael Irvin's sitting there looking like Scarface.
Bruh. I mean, it just opens up a whole can of worms. It does. It talks about how Jerry Jones had fixers for the Dallas Cowboys. That's why I said, man, in this day and age, he would have had to have better fixers than he had then, because some of this stuff still got out then. I couldn't imagine if they were in a digital age. Any of them players, man. Charles Haley is a nutball. Like, bro, I don't want to give away too much. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
No
it's on Netflix.
Keep the spoilers to yourself, buddy.
It's on Netflix. Go see it. Once you start watching the first episode, you're going to have to watch it to the end. I think the only reason why Mark hasn't watched it all the way to the end is because Mama Bear gets tired of watching the same things over and over and over again. All right, what else did we have here? Let's see. All right, so he talks about sophomore slump with Bo Nix overthrow. Boverthrow.
At least he wasn't Bo Picks this week.
You know what, though, man? All y'all making these nicknames for my guy, man. Keep that same energy when he starts dropping them dimes. When those passes start dropping, man, I want to see y'all keep that same energy, my guy. I don't know where he be getting these either, man. He's always showing me some new stuff. And then he came up, oh, yeah, ARF, always run forward. That was the thing. When we were kids, so I was over at Mark's house, visiting, trying to, just keep my boy in good spirits and whatnot. Plus that's my guy. We were just over there chilling, watching some college football, started watching the CU Buffs game, etc. So we're watching the Buffs game, and there's a running back. I can't think of his name right now, but he played for the Buffs because they use like 3 or 4. But he was the one that was the most prolific to me, and I can't believe that his name is escaping me right now, but I remembered it yesterday. But anyways.
This is a current player?
Yes. Long story short, this kid always falls forward. And then there was this other kid on their team that he had a first down, but then he takes a step back, runs to the side, gets tackled, and loses 2 yards on the catch. And I'm just like, always run forward. And Mark's like, yeah, man, ARF. Where's the dog in you? Had me dying. And I was just like, man, that acronym is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. So he put that in the He put that in the text thread here. ARF, always run forward. Got that dog in me. That might be a shirt that we have to draw up in Sportz Phenz. ARF, where's the dog in you? That might be a hashtag. Where's the dog in you? That might be a good. Now we got it on recording, so we can say you heard it here first.
Yep.
On this date, so nobody can steal that.
As a side note. No more quarterback sneaks for Bo Nix. No tush push. That guy does not know what he's doing in that situation. I don't think that's for him.
He lost a half a yard.
Yeah. No, he just planted his face right between some cheeks. Like, what are you doing, my guy? That's not
how the tush push works.
That's not how they wrote that up for you, buddy.
It's not what they meant by the tush push.
Just pressed fruit bowl. He's in there blowing raspberries, dude.
Come on now, don't do that.
Oh Lord!
Don't do that to my guy. Don't do
Lordy.
that. Don't do that. You wrong for that, man.
Oh man!
Tell you, keep that same energy, man. When my guy is throwing bombs down the field tomorrow night.
You know what? It's tough love. That's what it is. It's tough love. I believe in Bo Nix. I'm a fan.
You a Bo lever?
I'm a Bo lever.
Okay.
Bo picks.
Yeah, I think it was De Leon or something like that. Mark, thank you for CU.
What did you say? Bover's throne?
No. Yeah, Boverthrown. That's what he said. He said all of those balls were Boverthrown.
Motorboat. We're just gonna be sitting here reading the chat, dying for the next 6 minutes.
No doubt. But I do want a motorboat. Oh my God, something wrong with you, Mark?
Lord,
there's something wrong. Something. I don't know what it is. I love it. I love whatever it is.
Yeah.
But there's something wrong. All right. So, Mike,
what
you got any MMA updates for us, man? I know you told me last night you were watching some fights. Anything notable?
Nah, not really. I mean, there was the main event. I put $10 on God damn, what's his name? On don't do it. Brain fart. Anyways, I lost $10 last night on the main event because dude got knocked out in the first round.
Oh man.
Yeah, but it was in Australia. It was not too bad of a card. There's some pretty good fighters from Australia. You know, when they go across seas, they try to like highlight the fighters from that region. But yeah, Dominic Reyes got KO'd in the first round. You know, he was maybe the closest to beat John Jones in his prime. John Jones's prime. They had a back and forth battle, and the judges gave it to John Jones, and some people didn't like that. They thought Reyes, got him. But in that situation, man, you want to beat the champ, you got to beat the champ. You can't almost beat the champ.
Right.
And then he fell off hard. He got knocked out like 3 or 4 times in a row, and then now he was on a streak of 3 knockouts in a row wins, and people are like, "Oh, Dominic Reyes is on his way back," and then he just got blasted by this guy Carlos Olberg from I think he's from New Zealand. But that aside, the only thing I was wondering, like you, is someone that doesn't follow the sport super close, like when you watch fights, because I heard a quote from Joe Rogan, who is actually quite the expert at this.
I would say so.
At MMA in general. He says that, so what happens, sometimes guys get on the ground and they're grappling, right? And there's a point where maybe they're not working enough, and the ref will break it up and stand them back up to get them to go back to striking.
Okay.
And the main reason for that is because Dana White, the president of the UFC, wants to see action. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So but there's not like a definite like moment that they're supposed to stand them back up. It's a very blurry line, and it depends on the ref, it depends on the fighters, depends on a lot of things. Joe Rogan says he doesn't think they should be stood up at all. He's like, you got taken down to the ground, then you get back up. You know what I mean? And he's like, and if the fans think that's boring, well then don't watch the sport. And I do agree that sometimes there's points where guys just stop working and they're just laying there, and then maybe break that up and stand them up. But as someone like a casual or just you've seen some fights here and there, like what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it really depends. To me, it depends on what position are they in when he breaks it up. Like, is one person in an have the advantage, and now you're giving them an equal? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're neutralizing their advantage and taking away the disadvantage. I would liken it to in wrestling. So in wrestling, when you get to a point where the ref has to break it up, they don't necessarily have you stand up, but they get you in. Whoever was in the disadvantage is on the ground, and whoever's in the advantage is up top, right? And then you start again. So I could see them doing that maybe.
And see, they do that sometimes, like maybe like after like if there's like a low blow and they have to give him some time, but the guy was on top, then they'll put him back in that position. But like I said, the line's blurry. Like sometimes a guy is just turtled up and there's a guy draped over him and he's kind of just barely tapping at him, or maybe they got their arms tangled and they're not really working. At that point,
what would the fans rather? They call the fight like dude loses because he.
Well, he
can't defend himself. Like, what's the alternative?
A lot of casuals and a lot of meatheads in the fan base. There'll be legit grappling going on, legit ground game, and
which I understand.
And they're booing it. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I think that but there's been many times where I'm like, why did you just stand that guy up? Why did you just stand them up? They were working. Or either they're on the ground or they're like clinched up against the fence. I'm
assuming this is discretionary upon the referee.
Yeah,
correct?
The referee makes the decision, but like I said, there's no like defined like moment when they're like, okay, that's when you break it up. It's just it's a big fat blurry gray area.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Well, I would say don't stand them up at all. If I had to, because if one person has a clear advantage, you don't stand them up. If there's no clear advantage, then yes, you stand them up.
I think that's a good compromise. They're just, if they're working, and I mean, you got to assume these refs. A lot of them train themselves, so they know the sport. They know what it takes to grapple. They know whether or not the guys are working or not. So,
and there's also entertainment. So that's.
But the entertainment thing, and I think it's something that's going to always be a hot topic with
in every sport. It's
MMA,
business.
You know
it's
what I mean?
business. There's going to be a business aspect to all of this because of the gamblers, because of the businessmen that run these leagues and whatnot. There's always going to be a business aspect to that, and changes are always going to be made, and maybe this will be one change. But while I've got a quick second, we're going to go over just a little bit here. There are a few changes to this show that are coming up. We will no longer do our live broadcast on Sundays at 2 p.m. We are now moving into Thursday primetime at 7 p.m. Our first show will be this Thursday What is the date? I want to make sure I put that on there. It'll be this Thursday, October 2nd at 7 p.m. I will be out of town, but I will, chime in remotely. But you should have Mike and you will have Ryan Lagan covering for me probably the next 2 or 3 Thursdays. I apologize that I can't be in the inaugural Thursday launches. I really wish I could, but, other business calls, other business duties call. But you guys will be in good hands, man. I trust that Ryan and Mike will keep you guys entertained, keep you up on stats, keep you going with what the Broncos are doing. You guys are all familiar with Ryan. He's a Green Bay fan. He's also a Boston Celtics fan, so you'll have fun with that. So I honestly can't wait to see how Oil and Water works next Thursday if Mike comes in. But it's going to be a good dynamic. It's going to be fun. Don't forget to tune in. And don't forget to tune in just every Thursday at 7 p.m. going forward, starting this Thursday, October 2nd. And don't forget to come by and try the new, Vinny's business is booming, man. I came in today and the restaurant was full. So, man, you guys start getting your pre-orders in today. Do not forget to get your pre-orders in, then come pick them up tomorrow before the game. 303-807-0151. Don't forget to use our code Sportz Phenz to get your 10% discount. All right, with that, we will see you Thursday, 7 p.m., and every Thursday going forward, man. We appreciate all your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Sportz Phenz at Sportz Phenz on all of your social media outlets. And we will see you this Thursday, man. Go Broncos. Kick Cincinnati's butt in Cincinnati. Let's get this ship right. Let's go!
This show is worldwide.